Georgia. This is Georgia's Lifestyle. If you are new here, special welcome to you. I'm so happy that you are here watching another video. So this is a quick live, and as the title suggests, I'm going to be talking about the types of accommodation given to expat teachers. So teachers who are from a different country and are living and working in the United Arab Emirates. So as soon as you join this live stream, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done so yet, give the video a thumbs up. And as I go along in this video, drop your comments in the comment section if you do have one. So once again, thanks for joining. And I like to do live videos when I'm asked certain questions, so it benefits everyone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk, and I'll look at the comment section in the meantime so I can follow up on your questions. All right, guys. So when you apply to teach in the um, United Arab Emirates, you are given the types of accommodation you are given. It's either for single teachers, or it's for family, or you might be given an allowance. So let me say that again. As an expat teacher, when you get an offer, your accommodation might be for a single teacher, or it might be for family, or some schools give what you call an accommodation allowance, meaning they do provide accommodation, but you have the option of getting the money and renting your own place. Whereas, or otherwise, some schools, they don't provide any accommodation, so they give you the accommodation allowance. All right, guys. So which is, I'm just trying to set up on another device so I can follow your comments. Right. So I am normally asked which do I prefer. Well, for me, hi Tarina, hi Lansdale. Yes. So for me, I prefer to be given the accommodation because there is less hassle in terms of you get picked up at the airport. Well, everybody gets picked up at the airport. Um, but when you are given an accommodation, you get picked up at the airport and you are dropped off at your accommodation. It's already fully furnished with the basic amenities. So you have your appliances, for example, a refrigerator, that's a must, a stove. Some schools give a kettle, some give a microwave, but you have the basic things. Somewhere to hang your clothes or a wardrobe, a bed, uh, stove, and a refrigerator. So anything else you need, your other appliances, you will get that. Some accommodations are shared accommodation. Now, what does this mean? It means that you do have your own room, you do have your own bathroom, but you share the kitchen, or you share the living room space, or the TV room, or family room, as some cultures call it. Yes, so you have to share the utensils, the pots and the pans and so on. You have to share those. But like I said before, you do have your own bedroom and bathroom. So of course, that wouldn't be suitable for a family. And yeah, most of those schools do specifically say in the advertisement and the job posting that it's suitable for single families only, because obviously you couldn't share an accommodation with your family. But apart from that, as a single teacher, some schools do give you a one bedroom apartment. Hi Chanel, thank you so much for joining, and happy Ramadan Kareem too. Hope you're enjoying your spring break, Chanel. Yes. So what was I saying before? Um yes, so if you are employed as a single teacher, you might be given a 1 bedroom, or you are given a studio. I know of single teachers who actually gets a 2 bedroom, nice big apartment. So it just depends on what the school provides. All right, but for me, as I said before, I prefer being given the accommodation as opposed to going and searching for my own apartment, because that means I'm going to have to be finding my own furniture and everything, and of course paying my own utilities. Even though some schools provide the accommodation and they also pay for your utilities, while some schools they provide the accommodation but you have to pay your utilities. But for, I know some persons prefer not to live in school accommodation, so you may prefer to be given the allowance. Now, as I said before, not every school that provides accommodation gives you the allowance to rent elsewhere if you want. All right. Now, there are some schools now that provide no accommodation, so they give you the allowance and then you are free to go and rent wherever you want to live. Now, that can be a hassle um, when you are given that option, or when that is what is provided. So it therefore means that after you are picked up at the airport, you will be taken to a hotel. So some schools will host you for 1 or 2 weeks at the hotel, and then while you are at the hotel, then you have to start searching for an apartment. Now that can be a real big hassle, especially if you come with family. Because if you join in the middle of the school year, it means that um, you are going to be going to work the following day, possible given your timetable to start teaching right away, from while you're at the hotel. And then after you leave work, now you have to be going about searching to find an apartment and to get furniture, because you have to try to get that done before your time expires at the hotel. So that can be a hassle, and it can be a real hassle. um, uh, Speaking from others' experience, it can be a real hassle when you come with family and then you are being hosted in a hotel, and then you have to be thinking about finding an apartment during your stay. And remember that if it's a school that doesn't provide family benefits, it means that they are going to be hosting or paying for your stay in the hotel, but not for your family. So you're gonna have to pay if they host you for 2 weeks in the hotel. That means you're gonna have to pay for those 2 weeks in the hotel for your family, and provide food and all of that, because they're only going to be focusing on the employee, right? So um, searching for your own accommodation has its advantages, yeah, in the sense that, I mean, you get to do what you want to do. You get to set up your place like you want to set it up. You get to host people, because to be honest, some accommodations that are provided by the schools, they have their rules for the accommodation. You can't have X amount of visitors over. You can't have visitors over as you like. So it has its advantages and it has its disadvantages, but it depends on what you like and what you prefer. All right, guys, so let me check the comment section in the meantime. So, oh, I said hi to Terina already. I know you're still up, so this is not your bedtime yet. Or spring break is almost coming to an end. All right, so I can see 7 persons online. Thank you so much for joining, guys. And please give the video a thumbs up as soon as you join. Give the video a thumbs up. And as always, if you're here and you have any questions for me, you can drop them in the comment section. All right, so I'm just thinking from the top of my head too about some recent questions that have been asked. And yeah, another one is if when you start in the middle of the school term, if you get to shadow or watch a teacher before. Unfortunately, that is not the case in some schools. If you arrive in the middle of the school term, in most cases, they were already waiting for a teacher. So the moment you arrive here, you are given your schedule the following day and you have to start teaching. And then again, this is where the hassle comes in also. If you're here with a family and you're trying to get settled, then that can be a challenge. But yeah, in some cases, you whoever was teaching the class before you came, you get to shadow that person for a couple of days. But like I said again, unfortunately, that is not the case as always. So you have to come prepared, come with an open mind, come prepared that, it's a new environment, new culture, everything is different, and you just have to immediately adjust. You just have to immediately adjust. And quite frankly, persons are still coming right now. We're in April, and spring break will end on April 9th. We're going back to work, I think, April 10th. Yes, and I know new teachers are coming in. So come prepared. You arrive on April 9 and you're going to have to go into the classroom on April 10 and start teaching. Sometimes, unfortunately, you come and you pick up from somebody and there's nothing there for you to carry on. There's nothing there for you to follow. And unfortunately, you can't even complain. You just have to get into the know and start going right ahead. But for those of you who will be joining in August, it will be easier for you because you will get a fresh class, a new class, and you will get training at least 1 or 2 weeks before, so you will be fine. All right, let me look at the comments. Terra Teachers Consultancy is saying, personally, I prefer school provided accommodations. As you said, it makes transitioning a lot easier. Yes, it does. Because like I said before, you get picked up from the airport, you are tired, and you go straight into your apartment. You're going to get your little tea stuff and your toiletries and so on, and you settle down easier as opposed to arriving and thinking of, having to go to find your own accommodation and furniture and all of that. And Terina is also saying, my own apartment and not a shared one. Tried it and didn't like it, right? So Terina has the experience of a shared accommodation. I too had that experience of having a shared accommodation, and I did not like it one bit. I know sometimes that is the case. You are excited to get the offer and it's a shared accommodation, and you just want to get your foot into the UAE and you just accept it, but it's not the nicest. You have your own bedroom and all of that, but to be living with others or sometimes not tidy and all of that, having your own space to just walk about in your own space and do as you like, to be sharing a kitchen and persons leave the kitchen untidy and you have to be sharing the utensils and everything. It's really not easy. But again, I know I don't really want to discourage anybody, because I always say I want everyone to come and have their own experience. So if that's how you're gonna get in, then that's fine. All right. And of course, sometimes you just want to get in and finish a contract. I always say sometimes you're coming into the UAE, your first job is not ideal. It's not what you would have loved, what you would have liked. But I always say the most important thing is to get your feet in. And if you can right, Serena, it's not a discouragement. It's just the facts. And we just can't go around it. We have to state it as it is. So I'll never discourage anybody from coming. We all know what we can manage. We all know what we can deal with. I know for some persons, a shared accommodation might be ideal for them because they don't like being alone. So having two or three other persons around them um, might be okay for others because you get to interact with others and you can go out together and do things. So I always say to each his own. All right, but I know it can be a challenge if, especially like I said, if you are somebody who comes home from work and like your quiet space, you are a neat and tidy person, you like to see things in order, and then that is not the case when you're sharing with somebody, but to each his own. So if you can manage it, then you go ahead and do it. All right, guys. So, like I said at the start, this is just a quick live, just to talk about the types of accommodation. Terry said I had to buy my own stove and fridge and other kitchen items. Thank God I had a big room. Yes, that's the same for me because I remember when I moved to the shared accommodation, I was already I already had my own apartment from the first school, so I had most things for myself already. So that made it easier when I changed schools and had a shared accommodation. It made it easier because I had my own stuff already. But I realized if I didn't, it would have been a challenge because I remember many times I wanted to cook and everything was dirty, nothing was clean, and I survived because I had my own stuff before. Yeah, but living in a shared accommodation and then all the pots and pans are dirty and the kitchen is not cleaned, and that's definitely a challenge. Yes, and when you have to find your own apartment, the challenge comes also with finding somewhere that is close by to the school, because transportation can be very expensive. if you find if you find an apartment, transportation can be very expensive if you don't find somewhere that's close by to your school. So that's another challenge. When you have to rent your own apartment, you're gonna have to transport yourself to work if the school doesn't provide transportation, or you might end up having to get a car. So that's another challenge. Not a challenge in the sense that, because yes, there are some schools that provide an apartment and it's like 30 minutes away from your job, but and you still have to travel, but at least you don't have all the bills paying by yourself. And as Tarina suggested, to talk about the utilities, yes, that's something that you're going to have to be paying for yourself again, all the utilities. And guys, if you're here, please subscribe to Terra Teachers Consultancy. She's here in the chat, has a YouTube channel too that provides you with the same information I'm giving here. Yes, so there are little challenges that come with finding your own apartment and so on. You have to foot all the utilities, and yeah, again, if you're here with family, everybody possibly having their own room and using air condition, paying for um, AC, paying for the water and all of that. Even though there are schools that provide accommodation, but they don't pay for utility. All right, but it means that, again, that you have to be paying for everything. But it is workable, and like I said before, your first experience, your first job might prove challenging, but I always encourage persons to, if you can, if you can, then try to, bear with all the challenges that come, finish your 2 years contract, and then you can, hi Adrian, thank you so much for joining, how are you doing? And then after your contract is finished, then the good thing about working in the UAE is that after your contract is finished, you don't have to leave the country and come back and try to apply again. You can always stay here and change jobs. So I always encourage persons to it's challenging when you start, but if it is that you can finish your contract, finish it, and then coming towards the end of your contract, you search for another job that will be more ideal. But yes, once you get an offer and it's manageable, take it. As with anything new that we start, there will be challenges, and as I often say, international teaching, it's not a walkover. It doesn't matter where you're from. International teaching is not a walkover. It doesn't matter where you go. International teaching is not a walkover. There will be challenges because things are done differently from your home country. So it's always a learning. It's always a learning process. All right. And again, Tarina is saying that paying utilities is definitely workable. Yes, you just have to monitor the electricity use in your household. I know persons have who are paying utilities and they have AC, but of course they get a fan to use in some areas. So it's definitely workable, definitely manageable. And then all of those utilities, when you rent your own space, all of those have to be in your name and all of that. But it's workable. And when it's workable too, based on the offer that you are given, this is for those who are given the housing allowance. Based on the offer that you are given, if you find somewhere that is nice and clean and it's close by to your school and it's in an area which is not costly, then I know there are persons who get to save some of the money they get for their allowance. So it does work out for some persons. It has its advantage because um, some persons get to save. They get a salary offer of, let's say, 18,000, 21,000, and yeah, how to make a budget, right? They get a salary package of 18,000, 21,000 because they have to get their own apartment. But guess what? They find an apartment that is quite reasonable, so they get to save from that. So there's a plus. There's a plus in that. All right, guys, remember to give the video a thumbs up as you join. Yes, you have to make your budget. And I know that um, sometimes the offer doesn't seem like what you hear some other persons are getting. But at the end of the day, I always say, don't watch somebody else's offer. Don't think about the fact that you get an offer here and they're offering you 10,000 dirhams or they're offering you 11,000 dirhams, but you know of persons who are getting 15 and 16 and 14. I always say, look at what you're offered as opposed to what you are getting in your home country. That's the thing I think you should look at. What you are being offered and what you are getting in your home country, and you do the math. Remember, in the UAE, you don't pay for taxes, so you'll realize that you're being offered sometimes two, three times more than what you were getting in your home country, and you had to pay taxes out of it. You have to pay tax on everything. Remember now that when you get an offer in the UAE, whatever you sign for on your contract, you are taking home all of that. All of that is for you. You're not paying any taxes from it, no VAT. And so all of that is yours. right? And especially if you come and you are given an offer for 10,000 dirhams, no taxes taken from it. You are given housing, right? So you don't have to rent anywhere for yourself, and you're getting that's 2 or 3 times what you were getting in your home country. It's workable. All that money that you'd pay for tax deductions and all of that is going back into your pocket. Right, and Terry then said, when I started 6 years ago, I was earning 3 times my salary. God is good. Yes. And that's the place where we all have to reach. Stop looking at somebody else's grass over on the other side and focus on where you are. Try to start, have your own start. Build on what you are given, right? Sometimes somebody else is offered more than you. It's because of their qualification, it's because of their years of experience. Sometimes it's because of their nationality too, sadly, yeah, but it's because of their nationality too. All right, but don't look on the fact that you know that somebody else is being offered a certain amount. Remember, you are just coming into the country, and again I always say, you will never be offered less than what you were working in your home country. And way above that comes with, yes, experience and quote, right, right. So you will never be given less than what you were given in your home country. No. And like I said before, you get that and you're not paying any tax. We have to start somewhere. Yes, Terina, we have to start somewhere, right? So don't watch the other person's grass. Don't watch what they're getting. Start somewhere and build from it, right? So the fact that you're going to be getting 2 times, at least 2 times more than what you were given in your home country and not paying any taxes from it, then you can make it work. You can make it work. You come little by little and put down your little saving. Save out of that. Save out of that. Oh, and might I point out too that I always encourage new teachers, when you come, you have your expenses back in your home country, you have some debts in your home country. May I encourage you, new teachers, when you come, the banks here in the UAE, they will run you down, they will chase you to take credit cards and loans. Yes, they will chase you. You start working tomorrow, you arrive today, and you start working tomorrow, and they start offering you credit card and loans. It sounds nice and attractive, and it's an easy way to pay off your loans back home. But I always say, and this is what I did for myself too when I came, I told myself that yes, I was given the opportunity to come, but the job is not mine until I have passed my probation. Yes, you come and you start working, but I always say the job is officially not mine until once you get a phone number, they start hunting you down. Yes, Tarina, that is quite so. They start hunting you down to take credit card and loans. But I always say the job is not mine until I have passed my probation. So I am not going to incur any debts, because not passing my probation, it could be that parents don't like this particular teacher and the parents, they have a lot to say. Or you're not getting along with administration, you're not getting the know-how of your job, meaning you're just not managing. And I always say it depends on the type of teacher you were in your home country. It helps with how you transition and how well you do things. You have to have this thing called stick to itiveness, that even when the odds are against you, you have to push. You have to push. And yes, guys, it's going to be challenging. Sometimes you're even going to feel like you're a new teacher, like you don't know what you're doing. And it's all because you're in a different environment. Yeah. So I always say, don't uproot. And again, this is my opinion. Don't uproot your family to the UAE until you have been settled. Don't take any loans until you are settled. Just my advice. Until you are settled, until you have passed your probation, and then you can say, yes, yes, I'm here. I'm here full time. I'm here for the next 2 years. I'm here for the next 3 years. Yeah, because I've seen it where persons don't pass their probation and then they end up with so many loans to pay back the bank. And guys, the UAE doesn't play when it comes to loans. Listen, I know you're getting 3 times your salary, but that means you know how the 2 times the salary you didn't have, so you can use that money to pay back. Yes, that's a very good advice, Terina. Yes, the fact that you are getting 2 or 3 times your salary, then use that money. Yes, use that money to pay back your debts. Because guys, the reality is that it happens. Persons don't pass their probation and then end up with some loans. And once you owe the bank here in the UAE, you cannot go through that airport. You can't leave. There's something on the system there. There's something on the record there. Yeah, so it's just my advice. But as Terina said, the fact that you are getting 2 or 3 times your salary, pretend that you are not getting that amount. Pretend that you are still getting your same salary and use that extra money to start clearing your debts. All right. Yes, that's so true, Terina. Everything now is now attached to your Emirates ID. There's no escaping here in the UAE. And things have changed. And one thing here in the UAE, that the laws are they change so much. Today this thing was allowed and tomorrow it's a new thing. Yeah, so we just have to be on our P's and our Q's. So new teachers coming in, um you have to come in with a mindset. We have to, yes, live within our means. Exactly, we have to live within our means, because the truth is there's so much to do here, there's so much to see. And if you follow all you see, all that you can do, then you will find yourself back at square one. It's like you're getting the same salary, no improvement. Yeah, so we have to live within our means. Right, so new teachers, as you come, I know some of you will be coming in April. As you come with an open mind, come with the mind to work, come with the mindset that you resigned your job and this is where you will be now, and that's by any means, that's by any cost, you are going to ensure that you secure your job. I remember when I just came here, many days I was sick. I got to work and I was sick, and I knew that on my probation I wouldn't get a sick leave. When you're on probation, you don't get a sick leave. And all I did was to show up at work. Show up, try to make it through at least half of the day. And so I wasn't taking any leave while I was on probation. I forced myself to work even sometimes when I wasn't feeling well, and tried to make through at least half of the day. And then I said, listen, I'm really not feeling well and I have to go home. And then admin will be quite understanding. right? So guys, that's enough from me today, tonight. Thank you so much for joining. And as always, I hope you found this short live stream informative. And as always, you can go ahead and drop your comments in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer you as best as I can. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, leave your comment, subscribe to Terra Teachers Consultancy, and I will see you in another video. Bye. Thank you, Tarina, for such an engaging conversation. Thank you for all the information that you gave in the chat. It's much appreciated. All right, guys. Bye for now.